So let me ask you a question. How many times have you said, I just don't feel like practicing? And that turns into 2 days. That turns into a week. Might even turn into a month. Here's the truth. If you're waiting for motivation, you're going to stay stuck on guitar. And today I want to talk about why discipline, not motivation, is what actually makes great guitar players. So let's talk about how motivation can kind of be a trap in certain ways. Motivation feels powerful. You watch a live performance or a killer solo from your favorite guitar player, and you think, that's it. I'm practicing every single day now. And you do for a little bit. Then life happens. You're tired. You're running late. You've got to work. Work might run late, and you just don't feel inspired anymore. Suddenly, you playing your instrument and practicing becomes optional. Here's where a lot of people misunderstand this. Great players don't practice because they feel like it. They practice because it's scheduled. It's not emotional. It's almost mechanical. And that might not be something that you want to hear as a guitar player. The motivation comes when you're playing live or you're having that moment of inspiration when it strikes and you're feeding off of all the stuff that you've culminated through your years of practice. So motivation is emotional, practice is discipline. And if you only practice when you feel inspired, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, guitar just being a hobby, letting off some steam when you get home from work. But if you really want to improve on guitar and maybe start doing this as a living, the discipline structure of practice has to happen. You start to practice whether you feel like it or not. But even if you feel like you're not gaining a lot of progress, you're gaining a lot of skill just by having that mental fortitude of I'm doing this. When you start to shift into that mindset of this discipline, it's not dramatic, it's not exciting, it's not Instagram or YouTube worthy. It's literally this. You practice at, let's say, 7 p.m. because that's when you practice. It's not because you're inspired, it's not because you watched a cool video, and it's not because you bought a fancy new piece of gear. All of those things can influence you and motivate you to want to practice, but having that set time of when you practice is way more important. When you have that disciplined schedule, it doesn't become an option anymore. It just becomes that's what you're doing. And how does this really change anything? When you make practice your priority and you kind of disassociate from thinking that this is possibly a decision that I'm making, your brain starts to think of stuff. Maybe tomorrow you're tired and you deserve a break. That tried and true one. But when you make your practice a rule, not a mood, there's nothing to negotiate. And this is how you start to compound your progress moving forward. It's not through intensity, it's through consistency. So let's think about a practical system we could utilize to, actually, bring this home. And this is subject to change, really whatever fits you best. But having some sort of structure is really important. But here you go, pick a non-negotiable time. Even if it's just 20 minutes, define what you're going to do before you sit down and start practicing. Don't just say, I'm gonna play guitar for 20 minutes, because then we're just gonna sit here and mindlessly noodle. But maybe you're gonna say, I'm gonna practice alternate picking at X BPM for 20 minutes. And then you can track it, or you can make it visible. Take videos of yourself showing the progress. That way you don't feel like you're just kind of running uphill and, not seeing the peak of the mountain. And the biggest thing is when the timer ends, you want to leave yourself wanting some more. Give yourself, if you've only got 20 minutes, you should be like, man, I'm really improving. I want to keep playing. And if you have the time, continue to do so. So here's something that happens mentally. You have a mental shift when you start to prioritize and really discipline yourself into a set schedule like this. You don't rise to the level of your goals because, you can set goals, but really not having, groundwork getting up to them. Having the goal is one thing, but having these small bite-sized chunks that you can do to slowly achieve to that goal is way more important. So you don't rise to your goals. You literally will just fall to the systems that you already have in place. You'll improve kind of randomly and sporadically if you keep kind of doing your own thing or just sitting down and noodle. You'll have moments where you realize that you've gotten better, but it kind of doesn't happen very often. If you start practicing every day at a set time for a set time, you'll start to notice results very, very quickly. There's a really good book that I've read many, many times. It's called Extreme Ownership, How Navy SEALs Lead and Win. And it's mostly a book about leadership, but the last chapter in it focuses on discipline equals freedom. And that's a phrase coined by Jocko Willink, and it applies to everything in your life. Financial discipline equals financial freedom. Discipline playing your guitar will equal you getting significantly better at your guitar. And if you really want to pursue it as a career, you got to have that. You got to have that discipline. So challenge for this week, don't focus on being a better player. Focus on being someone who practices consistently. Just take 7 days out of this week at the same time every day. Zero negotiation. Man your helm. See what I did there? And control the direction that you want to go. So if this hit with you, please consider subscribing, liking this video. Monday is all about like a motivation mindset sort of idea. That's kind of the way I'm trying to go with the Monday videos for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll check all of you guys on the next video.